We realize it's got to change. But, and that right there is God. Somebody won, I got this, who talks, General Patton is one of my, guides, and I don't know which one told me about this, but I got to write an essay about where is the human mind. And I can guarantee you where it's not, it does have not anything to do with the physical body at all. Seriously disconnected. Or uses the physical body like a toy. The reason is that the physical body is part of all it is. It has infinite awareness. And there's, the DNA has our past, present, future, connects to the, Russian mirrors do that. The Black Institute, the human body, has precognition, knowing 7 seconds before what the mind's going to decide. And then kinesiology, where you got infinite awareness, the human body will answer perfectly any yes or no question on any subject. Okay, so absolutely, positively, my asshole knows more than I do. Excuse me, where's the disconnect? The answer is spoken word, which is actually programmed into our DNA, and that is how the disconnect is accomplished. And the bubbles cancel on that too. We're becoming telepathic using the bubble. So, where's the human mind? It has not one fucking thing to do with our body. It is our pure consciousness, the masochistic asshole that runs our ass around. As is obvious, because if we were actually connected to our body, how many people would have showed up in Las Vegas to the massacre? Answer 0. They had a concert and there'd been nobody there.
Right. Well, how many people would have shown up in all these wars? None.
Yeah, right.
I mean, even when you think about the Civil War, when the 2 men would stand there with a gun, it's like somebody's going to get killed here.
It's because of the death experience. It's kick-ass. We like it.
Okay, then.
I'm sorry. You wouldn't be doing it. I mean, you are eternal. Idiots don't actually die. You go back and do it again. Okay, well, excuse me. What's so good about death, you fucking assholes? Anyway, that's where we're at.
Yeah. Especially if we got to do it again. Jesus.
Oh, do it again, Madeline. It's ridiculous.
I know.
Oh, this, 18 Jesus figures with mirror image lifetimes. Born on the 25th virgin, changed the water to wine, raised a guy from the dead, and nailed to a tree at 33. God damn. Which actually, oh god damn, that's a signal to us, that to use the 33, which we are, there's other signals in this bubble tech. There's very obviously it's predestined, and this what's going on right now with these cones is the proof of that. See, we're still in predetermination, because all what you see is an image produced by our pure consciousness a long time ago, right prior to the last extinction event. And the way that you know that is because these things happen in slides, these little slices of time, the same fucking thing. Just replays and replays at each little, like the yugas or whatever, it's the goddamn same play. And until you wind up at the end, when you have the mass extinction event that we do, and the reason we do it is so that we can go cancel all of that memory and do it over again.
There's no other. Crazy.
That's what we're doing. And get this. Okay, the genetics. 100,000 animals, say the 5 extinction events that they know of. Okay, 100,000 different critters. They tested all their DNA. Exactly the same. You know, mirror image, genetic, digital mirror images, of all the critters that died, and then all 90% of the this is really amazing too. 90% of the DNA leaves, at the extinction events, which that usually is a nuclear event. Yeah, there's been other ways that they do it, but normally nuclear. Right? And so you have an extinction event, and then fuck me dead. The Noah thing, it's been replayed also, because it always is a nuclear thing that wipes it out. And the way that is Mars was wiped out by a nuclear thing, Titan was wiped out by a nuclear thing, and then, Tiamat, they blew that fucking thing up, I mean, we're some good idiots. Anyway, so these say it takes a while for them to regenerate. Mars is about to regenerate, and so we could have an extinction event here, and then we'd find our souls on Mars and play the whole goddamn thing over again. And it's like slides in a slide carousel. It just drops down. We replay, that slide has that whole little slice of time, and we replay the same thing. You know what? We just changed the name to protect the idiots. That's it. Apparently, we did expect us to wise up to this shit. Oh, fuck me dead. That's why we changed the names. Yes, there we go.
Well, I thought they had Mars populated a bit.
Oh, fuck yeah. It was populated by huge, giant humans, as you can tell by the size of their edifices. Are phenomenal. They got a pyramid there that's bigger than Mount Everest.
Well, I thought they were sending people up from here. I thought there's like 1 million people on Mars.
Well, it's Madeline. This entire multiverse popped into view. Everything pops into view every microsecond. Okay? All right. Now, the mass extinction events, 90% of the DNA wipes out. That's on this planet. When it regenerates and then comes back, the same 90% pops back into view. Now, the geneticists reckon inside of 100 years, like 20 years, including human DNA. Okay? All the animals, all but 10%, the lowest 10% was maybe ferns and cockroaches, I don't know. Anyway, but 90% of the DNA in all the animals, all the larger animals, the DNA was easy for them to find, okay, and that they could track through these extinction events. All the animals come back exact same DNA genetic mirror image, okay? We are lazy. As pure consciousness, we haven't bothered to change the images in these slots. We just carry on doing it. It's fun. We get to die again. We're fucking idiots. But it's not humane, and so our pure consciousness some time ago kind of got tired of killing everybody else. So it looks like we're going to live forever in euphoria now. Our heavenly reward is for real.
Well, we all need to reverse our age to 39.
Well, no, 20. The 20-year-old blueprint is what comes up.
Oh, well, that's good.
And then the mental chronological age should be about 5. I prefer 20. I was pretty good at 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I certainly don't want to do this again.
No, we're not.
Right.
That's all. We do all the time now. The extinction event really should have been December, the end of the Mayan calendar, and in the Bible code, which has been dead nuts accurate for 3,000 years. That's another thing, the predetermination that people don't. It's locked. It's in lockstep. This conversation we're having, it's like part of the play that we designed prior to the last extinction event. It's all in lockstep. All the images go in lockstep. You can break into it, but we're breaking into it, and that's one of my only questions, whether we can break into, like create dream time in pockets. And, it's all, we should, well, we can. Yeah, we can. Bubba's having that happen, basically. And getting more and more powerful, coming up with more tricks. We're getting more and more powerful. We got now pine cones that, they go vision distortion on their own right straight away.
Well, now what are these pine cones? It's
It's an
organite or?
actual, it's a mold of an actual pine cone, a 9-inch pine cone produced by the ponderosa pine. And
Okay.
so, and they, I think Bill made a silicone mold and Bubba made a latex mold. Anyway, they're making pine cones. And this was going to be, I don't know, that's super powerful. And they got another, innovation that was given in shaman-like to Bubba, and that is to take cones. Now we know the cones, they're a very powerful, broadcaster of organic energy. So this is another message from us to us from a long time ago. All right. The cones that are the perfect size for having these tree nested cones are all commercially available and dead cheap. And plus, what you put in to make the cones is just cement and sand and the other bits, that we do, set and everything. And it's expected that it'll bubble up on its own. And so we're going to call it the idiot flower. That way people will leave it alone. They won't touch it. And we can set it on the sidewalks of cities, transform the place. Don't even have to talk to them. Oh, I'm sorry. I tickled myself. I don't know what name we're going to call this thing, this triple cone thing, but I'm in favor of idiot flower, We'll see. I was just reading stuff about Aleister Crowley. I learned more from him than I did from anything the light side has to say. Yeah. The way that we've controlled ourselves basically all this time is image management, and that's what the dark side does. That's what their rituals are for, and it works. But they always have to manifest in the future. They work their ass off. They're always into astrology. They're always following the astrological this, that, and the other thing, and all these timings and stuff like that. Which has zero effect over the euphoria and the bubble. We don't care. We don't even care about the ley lines. Don't matter. It's useful to use them, but we don't need them.
Well, yeah, I guess it's
Resistance
the
is
bubble.
futile. None of your structures will survive. Yeah, because once you get the ability to teleport, then we don't, the boundaries, country boundaries and all of what's going on here now, it is gone. Excuse me, huh? It becomes cognitive dissonance. Say what? Government. I'm doing just fine, thank you. Oh, yeah, government means to manage your mind. That's exactly what they do.
That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, but anyway, all that's our design. All these dark dudes is our design. Why? To keep us out of darkness, keep us from our own power. That's why they're dark, because that's where we come from, and that's where we are the most powerful. It's not in the light. Yeah. So, so the problem though, there's a problem with darkness, is inherent loneliness, which we're solving with the euphoria. And it also means that we need a new blank substrate, from which to manifest everything. And that's the gray, which is the boundary layer between light and dark. And the neat thing about the gray, you can have any music you want, and you need to do this in teens, and so that's the extent of where your music gets in the gray, which is the boundary layer, is the extent of where your consciousness goes. Okay, so you're just having fun there. It's pretty much like almost exactly like a fairy ring, and so you being there like that, there's no more all knowing. You're in euphoric bubbles. That's pretty much what it's like. We might go back to 5-year-old. I don't know.
Yeah, well, maybe.
So anyway, that's where we're headed. That's where the bubble tech is headed, and it's like, resistance is futile. You're going to get there.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That is
I've never
wonderful.
that's the first time I've ever explained it, all the way through. I've tried. It's hard to do, but it's cool because it is where we're headed. It's automatic, it's just automatic. The problem, there are people that don't feel, and that one, so far is escaping me. Yeah, this is amazing. Michael Mikau Ledwith, the Irish Catholic doctor, priest, head of a university that has joined the Rampant group and got ostracized by the Catholic Church, and so they had him in 3 of the the What's the Bleep movies and Down the Rabbit Hole, and he's a heavy duty instructor. He and this nurse, there's a lady there that I've come basically engaged to. The word comes up. She's amazing. Anyway, between them, they have made bubble pieces that are just about the most powerful on Earth. And the one, the reason is that he happened to have, amazingly, another predetermination. Oh, I never did finish. Yeah, the cone's predetermination, all of the exact qubit sizes is commercially available cheap stuff. Okay? So that's predetermination. So is this one. All right? So they made a bubble piece, like I explained to him how to make the dry ones, the really powerful ones in a flower pot. And then he happened to have 800-pound magnets, that pull 800-pound pole, and he deal with them and got them stuck on there. And this is super, it's infinite. He's got multiple violet ray wands. He's got a satellite of 21 other smaller bubble pieces that are all hooked up with copper wire that's been annealed, so that basically you don't need to put any power in it. The powers itself. But anyway, and because that's how Kesh GANs work too. They're heavy into GANs. They know that technology is required to blow the low shot the ethers. This is that technology, and so more advances. He's got that piece. Right. Next thing, the Russian concave mirrors. Okay, he goes and makes one out of aluminum, which is just fine, and it's highly polished on the inside. And he gets in this thing with the bubble piece in there. This is like this is so powerful. You can't imagine. It's all reflecting back. And he finally starts to feel a little bit. Fuck. And the normal person can't get close to it. It's like, oh my God, The same with like Bubba's, what he's got going on. A normal person, it's hard for him to get close to it. It's so powerful. Yeah, so anyway, and you get vision distortions. Bubba's had flocks of hummingbirds down there for a long time. They're like 80 to 100 hummingbirds in 4 or 5 flocks. There's around 1,000 quail. The bobcat comes and leaves the quail alone, and it hangs out. You know? No, this is normal. You know. Oh, and it's also the end of dream time going on there, because the rats and the mice have come and sacrificed themselves at the euphoric bubble, and really and truly sacrificed themselves. You know, I mean, this is a predestined tech again. I mean, he had been getting rid of rats and mice because he's a farmer for a long time with the plaster mixed with like oatmeal or something else they'd eat, you know, and it kills them. And when this started happening, all he did was take a bag of plaster and put it out there. He didn't even open it. They'd break into it and eat it themselves and die. And there's a whole bunch of fat ravens and owls around. He's got a cactus like a sequoia cactus that blooms once a year. It's bloomed 10 times in 11 weeks.
Wow.
You know, it's all normal. This is normal stuff when you get these fields, you know, going. There's other people are having ridiculous stuff happen too. Not just him. The main thing is having you know, more than one. In Bubba's case, he had been on to orgone for years, and he has orgone scattered all up and down the valley where he's at. And then so the bubble connects up with all that. So that's why it's so powerful where he's at. And so that's how you can make it powerful around anywhere. It's a resistance is futile. It is a technology. Do it. It will work.
So then if you'd wear an orgone piece, like a necklace, you'd kind of be connected to your bubble all the time.
Yeah, right. And then you can bubble up the orgone piece by getting a little magnet. You'd need an orgone pendant that's got some iron in it or something that's magnetic that the magnet will stick to. You just stick a magnet on it and you'll have a beaming asshole. And next thing you know, you'll be flying. Sorry, cowboy, but it's true. That's where the broomstick thing comes. You have light pouring out of every orifice of your body. Eventually, that's one of the stages we can go through if we want. Because you got to eschew the light, you know, because the light is structure, you know. Whereas in the gray, you got no structure, which means that whatever you do, but then it evaporates and you do, and you know, whatever, you know, I mean, it doesn't matter from there. Whatever is your imagination, you know. Imagination is supreme. Surprise is supreme, you know. Good times, man. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've ever explained that one that well, too. I'm glad I talked to you. I don't think I'll be able to remember all this shit. I hope that you can. Oh, God. Oh, help.
Yeah. Interesting stuff.
Yeah, that's just what it is. You know, we make this entire multiverse the same way that the DNA blinks out and blinks back in. Okay, and everything does that. Ditto the entire multiverse. Because this multiverse is clearly the product of trial and error. You know, because we fucking idiots. Pure consciousness, nothing sticks. We have collapsed previous multiverses. And the way that you know that for a fact is the Archon. Because the Archon is what protects the rest of the multiverse from collapsing. Otherwise, all that shit mirrors off and amplifies, just like the orgone bubble. So the Archon cleaned it up, you know, and so they're extremely important little bit of kit, you know, that when you're going to make an Idiotsville. You see why, you know, I wouldn't stop using the word idiot when I was talking with Merlin? If we are, we're also very powerful. And these little things, you know, that we cooked up somewhere prior to the last extinction event, these little things are really cool. this bubble, deadly simple, and and can't be used by the dark side. It's just predetermined. And then, God dang, I had another one there. Oh, it goes on and on and on. The 33 thing, that's obvious. We've got a blank sheet. Everything that's structure is not pure consciousness. Pure consciousness flows through everything pure consciousness does. That's us. We are all that pure consciousness. Right? And so, so the Archon, cleaning up things, great idea. Okay? And where the Archon come from, they're idiots too. I'm sorry, they poor little guys. They're Anu that's made out of judgment and time. Our Anu's made out of time and love, which is fucking amazing how we keep the skid mark going. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the Archon don't grow because they have that judgment component. So their Anu is very small, and the amount of your memory is a function of the length of your the DNA spiral in your Anu that makes you. The Anus that make most humans can store 48 minutes of a sequence of events. So your past, present, future is broken up into a 48-minute sequence of events. All of those are in an Anu, and all of those are with you now. Karma's a bitch. and that Anu is connected to this fucking play, that we haven't changed. And that Anu is what takes our ass to get killed. God is God. And the male form of God, we're all male, because the two male forms of God, the Anu is what makes us, and we're all fucking idiots. We keep replaying the same fucking play. It's like a Peter Sellers movie. You know what he's going to do, and we know what we're going to do. We do it anyway.
Yeah. How can we break the cycle?
Well, this will do that. So the Archon. So further proof, the Archon. They have evil queens. Well, excuse me, whose fucking idea was that? Where did that come from? It wasn't these little fuckers. They ain't got the brain God gave a soda cracker. Oh, it was you, huh? Oh, yeah, I guess so. Okay. And they also have an evil emperor. Excuse me, whose fucking idea was that? You old cunt, you old bitch, you're female. What are you doing making these things, these male things? Huh? Huh? Entertainment. And so, because we had to add on, the Archons had to be added onto, and they also have the supposed requirement to show us what they're going to do to us before they do it, which actually they're using our mind to make it happen. They use our mind more than we do, but we let them. That's the setup. That's part of the darkness, to keep us away from darkness. But very clearly, these added-on design features of the Archon had to be added on in order not to destroy the multiverse. That happens automatically. We have these ideas. This is how the multiverse starts. This is really a trip. Okay, so there's no question about how the way the multiverse starts. God, it's I am that I am. Everything, it's like attracts like, mirroring. Everything comes from that right there. Okay, so you do that anywhere in space, in the void, and you're going to wind up with a multiverse. It's automatic. Now, when that first I am that I am occurred, that creates a circle. And that little circle, she loved very much because beat the shit out of what was going on before. That's where love came from. And she was lonely before that too, obviously. I've been there in meditation. Sai Baba says that, that's the old bitch. That we've been dying for the cause for her. This is chivalry. That's what we're doing here. Dying for the cause for her to derive her to this point, where the euphoria that fixed her and us. Us being her babies, because we manifest in the exact same way. we're all God. I mean, big time. You know, God herself. That's the first I am that I am. The little round circle of love that's made, that the color of which is piezoelectric green with the ethers. That's their color. They're made out of love. You know, and the same with all of us. And it's like Edgar Casey said, that all human consciousness were manifest at the same time from darkness. So, you know, it's, so since we're all manifest at the same time from darkness, what's the first step out of darkness? Well, excuse me, same step, isn't it? I am that I am. Bam! Guess what, asshole? You're here again. I'm in a good mood, I'd say.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, everything does that. You know, I mean, that's square one. You know, and so that's the other thing is that, you know, the very first step out of pure consciousness is a circle of love. And how the fuck do we get from there to this skid mark? You know, god damn. You know, I mean, that's the root building block. You know, and the answer is there's a lot of design features. You know, trial and error over fucking ridiculous lengths of time. Fucking idiots. I mean, it don't. But we have come up with this solution, and there's one thing, you know, for that pure consciousness seems to have as a design, you know, because all the DNA replays. I mean, the whole fucking thing replays, except all during that time, humans have been getting smaller, dumber, and weaker, and more numerous. We've achieved the apex of idiocy. And the reason is that when we go into dream time, we have 7,000 languages now, and all of those cultures as playground. You know, we get the experience of. You too could be a Borneo tribesman with a plate in your lip. Excuse me, you already are. As well as Jesus or whatever the fuck you want. You can do whatever you want. There is no limits.
Well, I guess we have to get started on a lot of this stuff.
Well, we already are. You don't have to worry about it. The ball's rolling down that hill. It's going to, you know, collide with reality here pretty quick and wake everybody up. The bubble will do that. We'll be having magical shit happen. You know, the Lake Okeechobee, you know, hopefully, well, it will clear up sometime here. I don't know when, but the image is already installed. It's finished. You know, and there's other people who have used the same image, which means that I didn't exactly install the image. I was helped by the lady of the lake. She wanted to clean it up too. You know, and well, it's nature, Mother Nature. You know, it's basically an avatar of Mother Nature. Mother Nature's, you know, basically curtsying and thanking me and us that we don't wipe her out again. You know?
Yeah, no kidding.
She knows we can do it. she appeared to me in a gingham dress, you know, and dancing and twirling, and then she even curtsied, you know, and I went, oh yeah, okay, I got it. Yeah, you're right. There is no bitch part to Mother Nature. That's what I'd realized, as well as planet Earth. And excuse me, where does all the outhouse and skid mark ideas get stored while we're dead? You old cunt. I mean, because we start all over again pure. Us as pure consciousness actually do go back to being pure. Then when we start again, there has to be a Anus that have all those images in them. Excuse me, where were they? Where the fuck did you come from? Where's the skid mark? I learned more from Aleister Crowley and all those guys. You follow the skid mark back. Okay, who's keeping this shit for us? And the one answer that's still there is planet Earth and part of 10% of Mother Nature. Yeah. So, yeah, excuse me. Truth is truth. Yeah. And it's also highly possible. See, there's also other multiverses, and each one of us humans is a avatar and a representative of another multiverse, and they also store the crap for us. It's where the information came from in the beginning, because when the first I am that I am started, there had to be the intention for the spoken word. You can't, if you exist in a field of love, you can't design the spoken word or the carbon-oxygen antagonism. It's no way. You don't have the building blocks at all within your consciousness, to design this crap. We did it collectively. So you can tell there's committees of us. One guy did the carbon-oxygen antagonism. Other guys did the Archons, so on like that. We huddle together just like on a fucking football field. That's how we do it. Fucking idiots. We like to share. And it's peer pressure. Peer pressure. The spoken fucking word is absolute nothing but peer pressure. Completely, totally peer pressure. And it changes our DNA in such a way that we're cut off from, we're indexed into lineal time. Obviously, it's spoken word and lineal time. You've got to have lineal time in order to fucking be understood with spoken word. Whereas telepathy, that's not necessary. Another proof of it, all these Jesus figures, nice guys, yeah. Not one fucking one of them has ever taught telepathy. And they could. It's not that difficult. Especially you start out young, no problem whatsoever. Automatic, as a matter of fact. You have to learn to talk. Telepathy, you don't need to learn. It's automatic. Which is another thing that the bubble is doing for us. It's, basically imposing telepathy on the planet. Eventually, when we reach the dream time, that'll be like that. And it's not that far off, darling. We're inside of 5 years. Inside of 5 years. In between time, we got to clean up the planet, which we can prove to ourselves we're God. So like all the plastic in the ocean, bam, gone. We'd say, okay, that's enough. No. Okay. The other thing. We'd like to have a forest back here. Thank you very much. Turn around, turn back, bam, instantaneous forest. Thank you very much. Birds, butterflies, like that. Streams, running streams. We do that anyway. So we can do it again. Same with it'll start in the oceans. It's easier in the oceans. It already started in the oceans. I would dance with the phytoplankton, and my dance with the phytoplankton was amazing. Typical, you just get with one of them and put a bubble around yourselves, and then go into the dance in the high-speed spin going up through the DNA love spiral, which imparts love to that. That cancels all it. You need to do it in Euphoria and the Gray and stop using love. And yeah, Euphoria, holy shit, yeah. Okay, I gotta go back and do that. Oh, well, it already happened. Wow, I'm getting a big euphoric buzz off that. Oh, yeah, love is a problem. It really is. And we're all addicted to it. It's one of the addictive things that, it's for idiots.
Well, no one, every time I ask the person, everybody says, oh, it's all love, it's all love. Well, what is love? What is it?
It's also the black goo that they talk about. It's one of the offshoot of the black goo. Excuse me. What's the end result of love? Well, love is self-attracting, isn't it? Okay, so where do you wind up? Continuous orgasm. Okay, why aren't you there, idiot? Help. But that's true. Yeah, it's irrefutable. I mean, like one of my essays, great. What is it? Wherein there's a problem is this essay, one of my essays, and I was considering the entire multiverse and the past, present, and future of this universe mirrored off into the multiverse, and I was following that around. It goes around a big toroid because the rule like attracts like. You know, and, one of my essays, a Hindu essay, the Hindu concept of time, the blinking Hindu concept of time, has this, you can see a picture of it, this really and truly how it is. And, so I was doing that. And then my guy, this was General Patton, he goes, okay, wherein there's a problem. Oh, fuck. So the answer to that question is, you know where you're at? Exactly where you focus yourself to be, because you could be anywhere else in there if you wish. And, there's guys like Babaji that actually do that. He can be anywhere, anytime, any form he chooses. That includes, obviously, parallel realms. Or probably in his case, other multiverses. Each one of us is the representative of another multiverse. And the way you know that for a fact is, like they say, the animal's DNA stays the same. Okay? All right, so you have all kinds of identical DNA in nature, whereas humans, we are all different, unique. Okay, excuse me. Where's that information come from? Not here. It ain't natural. It has to come from somewhere else in creation, which can only be another multiverse. Because it can only be another multiverse. Like I said, making a multiverse, you only need one asshole. And he is. And the reason you know is because he keeps imposing these different design features of the skid mark. Okay, and because of that, us humans, this go around, we are so important to the entirety of creation, and this euphoria, this little, changes the whole of everything. It really does.
What are they trying to do here with so many of these children getting autism?
Oh well, it's the way they're doing that with aluminum.
I know, but what is the purpose of this?
Oh, mercury, big time. To have because suffering, isn't it? We're doing it to ourselves. Suffering, wonderful. That's a pure consciousness that's not quite gotten to the stage of the emaciated African child. which is the epitome of pure consciousness experience in this planet, or solar system, should I say? Yeah, we do it to ourselves. Everything what you see, we make, and the reason we make it is drugs. When you're thinking, that's drugs. Do we think? No, we're not thinking. You're fooling yourself. It's all bullshit. All you're doing is replaying bullshit over and over again, where you actually think it's real. The whole thing is a hoax. The Zodiac, excuse me. The Zodiac's phenomenal, in a way that it connects up with the cycles of time and the Hindu and the Maya and so on and so forth. And it's a hoax. And the way that you know it's a hoax is because it applies to each one of us. That's one. Two, it's divisive. Oh, okay. It's not true. We are all uniform. We are all made, all of our human consciousness. We are all the same. We are all manifest at the exact same time, like Edgar Cayce says. And as the physics of it has to be. It can't be any other way. Correct, Edgar. Excellent. That's why I drill down into that. Consciousness begins. Maya say consciousness begins. That is it. That is how consciousness begins. Period. For God. For all of us. We all start the exact same way. I am that I am. And then right after, but before we start that, these design features had to be, as you can imagine, in pure consciousness, it's really hard to hold on to anything. Now, all of these design features had to come from there, because as soon as you start with love, then that's your building block. Okay? So therefore, the shit house is in the darkness. I have finally tracked, thank you very much, I have finally tracked the skid mark back to source. It's us. Oh, thank you very much. I'm so glad I talked to you. That's another question. I was just going to do that. That human mind. That's what you want. Track the human mind. Track the skid mark. Where do you wind up? In the shit house. Oh, help. Oh, that was good. I'm going to use that one. Excuse me, we actually do have a field of love here.
Yeah.
Where did the skid mark come from? You do have to answer the question. Now you see why I called God the old bitch. She could have changed it. She could change it anywhere along there. Hasn't done it. Neither have we, for that matter.
Well, maybe that's the key.
What?
I said maybe that's the key. We're supposed to change it.
Well, it is. Absolutely. Absolutely. We got no choice, actually. And the bubble makes that possible. And the other fucking amazing thing about it that you realize this is predestined is that all of those cats, Jesus and all those guys, they are enlightened beings, okay? Why the fuck didn't they teach us telepathy, okay? Because we didn't want them to. Peer pressure. No, we don't want that. We want to be talking idiots.
Did you ever think that they wanted to teach the telepathy, but they weren't ready to understand it?
No. It's again another skid mark design feature from the void. Is that this would come out like this? And the reason why what we got going, the telepathic, is true, is predestined. They didn't teach us telepathy because of the big Anu, that, like say, the Anu of the Earth and the Anu of all of these other multiverses didn't want that to happen. Okay, they wanted this play to continue because they know what's going on. I mean, this is a gigantic entertainment system. Okay, that's all it is. To provide separation from pure consciousness. That is what's going on here. Period. Anyway. So let's see, where did I get? I got scattered off into the multiverse there. I was going headed in a great direction. It was funny too. Oh, it'll come back someday. No, it's another. Like be all like the when where do you find the human mind? Where is it exactly? Well, it's easy. You just track the skid mark back and you wind up in the shit house. I'm going to write that down. Then I'll explain it. It's in darkness. Has to be. It's the only place it can be. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, hell. This has been such fun.
Yeah, isn't life fun?
It's phenomenal. And the really nifty thing, I've, Madeline, I've answered every major question in physics, genetics, cosmology, and spirituality. The major question in spirituality is, and the major spiritual attainment, according to to Andromeda, is to be able to acquire the past, present, future of everything in the multiverse, because that's what's there, and we all have that. We all make that, so we all have it, So not only have I done that, but I skipped up into additional multiverses, which have to be there. So it's like, oh, sheesh. Anyway, and so all of these accomplishments that I've done don't matter for shit. Don't make a damn. The only thing that matters is this bubble and euphoria. That's it. Because all that stuff goes away. It's just karma anyway. It's just structures and bullshit. You and once we realize that, and then we get into a pure consciousness in the gray. Oh my God! Didn't we play it forever? That'd be cool, huh?
Yeah.
So anyway, the point I was going to make about the guys that were enlightened, Jesus. The
Mm-hmm.
way I studied this is one of the things we studied in the monastery where I live. Is enlightenment. Every religious scripture says that we are all to become enlightened. And so the monks believed that, and they went down all those roads. And they wound up at Patanjali Yoga Sutras and Zen. And the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, because they're fucking neat. It's like a Zen koan, combined in with teaching. But anyway, so the deal is that all enlightened beings have happened this way, and that is that their spiritual body overtook their physical body. Okay? Okay, well, the spiritual body, that's where the fucking idiot is. He's not going to teach us telepathy. The body, however, actually is enlightened, doesn't know what's going on. Is tired of getting his fucking ass kicked. So, excuse me, enlightenment this time needs to be via the physical body overtaking the spiritual body, because you're a fucking idiot. You need adult supervision. Yeah. Quit killing us off, you cocksucker. So the way we become enlightened this time is we basically join our asshole, become part of our body. How would that be for some of the most enlightened teachings that you've ever had?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hell. That was really quite good, Madeline. I've enjoyed this conversation. Sorry it's been so one-sided.
It's okay.
When I get in one of these, I normally, and they just get, I did that to, anyway, doesn't matter. Great fun.
Well, that's how people learn.
Nah.
And you have a lot of information to impart to people.
Yeah, what the fucking amazing thing is that, the way I just described how the universe is constructed and the way what the multiverse and all that other shit, it all dovetails together. It has to be that way. There is not, because the rule, like attracts like. There's only one rule, and when you accept that rule and that the fact that the ether's there, the physics is easy. It's simple, and, it's just images and emotion. That's it. Spin fucks things up. Yeah. And, the part of the problem, big part of the problem, Jesus. You know why? Spin energy, the DNA remembers things. And so if you got a past that portends the future, you get stuck in predetermination. That's another reason he didn't teach us telepathy, because when you learn telepathy, you don't need the education.
Well, that's true, isn't it?
That's why they didn't teach us. Because they were idiotsville. You know, it took us a long time to make this fucking place. They don't want us to come along and destroy it straight away, which we can do by attaining telepathic nature. When we attain telepathy, then we'll also it'll come to the realization that, you know, this multiverse, we make it, and we have expunged them before because they didn't work. You know, the reason was because they didn't get the Archon right. That's the power of, you know, us collectively. That's what it is. The male form of God. You know, God is God. That's phenomenal. So yeah, and so where's it? You know, where's the source of the skid mark? God, the male form of God, and the female form of God, the lonely old bitch. She hasn't fixed it. You know, but she enjoyed the play too. You know, Peter Sellers movie. When you're getting totally objective, there you are. That's total objectiveness. It still boils down to an entertainment system.
Right. It's a whole big Las Vegas show.
Yeah, hoax. It's a hoax. It's a hoax, like the Zodiac. It's a hoax. You know, which means the entire cosmos is a hoax. Correct. In all the aliens and angels, guess who they are? They're us. Cleaned up by the Archon. They're just reflections of us. You know, it is this, Madeline, via astral projection and lucid dreaming, and the NDEs talk about it. You can go anywhere in space and time instantly. You get there instantly. You get there before you finish the thought. Okie dokie. And via the Tesla Utron, you can do the exact same thing physically. Go anywhere in space and time physically, inside the space, you know, and you get there instantly. So, excuse me. You do have to answer the question because it's back, and you should know it, you know, about astral projection and lucid dreaming, you know, that you may not know about NDE and the rest of them, but anyway, and the Tesla Utron you can look up, you know, just type in those words. And goes anywhere in space and time instantly. Okay, excuse me. How does it do that? Answer is, you're already there, idiot. Oh, okay. Yeah, just go. Okay. Excuse me. Who made there? Well, since you're the real thing, then there is a reflection of you in it, idiot. Oh, yeah. So, there is no there. There's only here and now. All that what there is your construct. Period. Otherwise, this design feature of the universe, with this getting there instantly, wouldn't be possible. Everything what's out there is a design feature, is a, you know, one of our things. You know, some of it's better than others, depending on how you look at it. Pure consciousness is an asshole. Just remember that. We're curing him too. You know, by making him combined with our body, make our pure consciousness combined, and it's a him combined with our body. That was orgasmic, wasn't it? But that's how we have to do enlightenment this time. We can't do it the other where you let the spiritual body overtake the physical body, because that's the idiot. the who knows what's going on here properly is our body, and therefore better than our brain, our heart, and thus the bubble genies are reflections of our heart. All this dovetails together. You see, Madeline? It all dovetails together. Where we don't really have to talk to anyone. This, what we got going on here, the bubble tech will absolutely supplant everything and, you know, and change the entirety of creation. So yes, you can make your car work at some point in time in the future. I don't know when that'll be, but you will see it. Okay, doke. You there? Hello. What?
Hello.
Yeah, hi. I got you. I got you.
Yeah, it's saying I have
Hmm?
a connection.
Hmm.
Saying there's a
Hmm.
poor connection.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, I've done enough to bog your brain for one day. Have a good one, darling. Carry on. Just be bubbling. Make more bubbles. You know, the more
Bye.
orgone around your bubble, the more powerful your bubble becomes. And if you have like four bubbles and you got one bubble that's in the middle of a triangle, you will not be able to have a computer in that space because it'll blot it out. It has to be done somewhere where you won't have a computer. But we already know that triangle with one right in the middle of the triangle. You set bubbles up like that. It becomes it becomes a field that is more powerful than Wilhelm Reich's orgone box by a long shot. You know, it's easy to do. It's not difficult. You have to have some place to do it though. Fun stuff. Okie doke. I can't hear you, Madeline. I'll catch you later. Blessings.